Alright, I'm back, and right now I would just like to talk about a show that comes on Tuesday nights after the game, and it's called Let's Stay Together. I think this is a good show. It's really good. I think this show shows black people in a really good light. It just shows regular black people. They're not athletes, they're not Hollywood stars or rap stars. They're just regular black people living regular lives. They have cool jobs and they're just doing their thing because they're living regular lives. And I think we need to see more black people like this on TV. These black folks are in constructive and productive relationships, whether it's a friendship or love interest, and it shows how these black folks interact with each other and they talk to each other with logic. They're intelligent and intellectual. And when I say they're intelligent and intellectual, I'm not saying that these black folks are rocket scientists and they're into chemistry all day. They're just black people that think with logic. They're not all ghetto and they're not acting all ignorant and belligerent. They're just cool type of black people, and I'm glad to see that the spotlight is on these type of black folks because now the world could see more often that these type of black people exist because we need to see more black people like this instead of the ghetto and ignorant type of black people that the media has been focusing on for the last several years. And that's why I think this is a good show on TV because it shows black people in a good light. But some people are kind of writing this show off already. I don't know why, but I know there's lots of people out there that like this show, but some people are writing this show off already. You got to remember, this is only the first season, and there are other shows that didn't do too well with the critics its first season. One show that comes to mind is The Wayans Brothers. I didn't really like that show personally its first season, but once the second and third season came along, I loved it. That show was hilarious. That show did very well. It eventually went into syndication. But the thing is, people gave that show a chance, and that show did pretty well for itself. Another show that the critics didn't like too much its first season, and the ratings didn't do too well its first season, but this show eventually gained a cult following, and that show is Seinfeld. The first season didn't go so well for that show, but eventually that show gained a more and more audience. It gained more and more of an audience, and it gained a cult following. And eventually, that show went into syndication. That show did pretty well, and that was a good show. But the thing about these two shows, people gave these shows a chance. That's why I think people should give Let's Stay Together a chance because I think it's a good show. I like it. The characters are funny. The characters are very likable. And it's just normal people in constructive and productive relationships. The game, that show is really good too, but it's more focused on athletes. And the thing I like about Let's Stay Together and the thing I think that is good to show to the world is that it's not only athletes and entertainers that are living nice. It's good to show regular black people living nice. Cause how come TV only shows people in Hollywood and athletes living nice? Regular black folks can live nice as well. I think we need to see more regular black people on TV that's not all ignorant and ridiculous. These blacks are professionals and they're living regular lives. And like I said, I think that's a good look. It's a good light for black television. Personally, like I said, I really like this show. But to the people that don't like this show, how come y'all don't like this show? That's what I want to know. I know there are people that like this show, but there's people that are writing the show off already. How come y'all don't like it? Could it be the people who don't like this show don't like it because they don't find it interesting to see intelligent black people living comfortably and nice on TV and they're not athletes? Can't intelligent black people live nice too? Can't these people be demonstrated and have the spotlight put on them for once? The spotlight is not just reserved for athletes and Hollywood stars. I think black sitcoms should have more regular black people just living their lives that and their life do not revolve around Hollywood or entertainment. That's why I think this show is a good light for black folks. I mean, to the people that don't like this show, do y'all only accept black people if they fit the stereotypes on television? Do y'all only want to see stereotypical type of black people on television all the time? Can't the black people be just regular black people for once? Can't we just see intelligent, intellectual black people for once and their life does not revolve around Hollywood or sports? Black people living nice on TV is not reserved only for athletes. Because there are other type of black people out there. These type of black people do exist. And I'm glad this show is on because it demonstrates that there are black people like this out there in the world. And this show shows that black people can have constructive and productive relationships and could get along logically. This show demonstrates that. And I think the black community needs that look right now because the black community is in turmoil right now and we need some good images to sink into the minds of many of the black folks out there. And that's why this show is good. It's not revolving around athletes and Hollywood stars. These are regular black people living regular lives. Are black people scared of looking at intelligent black people on TV that are funny? Because the characters are funny, the characters are likable. Are black people scared at seeing intellectual black people that are funny on TV? Do y'all have a problem with that? I mean, do y'all not like intelligence mixed with comedy? Can't we have that on television? I think we can. And I think we need more of it. Can't black people look good on TV without being a moron and without being all ghetto acting and without being ignorant? Can't we be on TV without acting like that? I think we can. And this show demonstrates that. That's why I think this could be a new phenomenon in the black community and black television. Can you see it? Intelligent, intellectual black people on TV, on sitcoms, and more dramas. This could start off something new right here for black people. I mean, you've had shows like this about black people before, but this show is something different because none of the characters revolve around Hollywood or sports or music. That's why I think this show is good, and this could be a new phenomenon, and we could have more shows like this of regular black people just living lives because white people have sitcoms with white people living regular lives and just doing whatever they're doing, and those shows do pretty well. How come black people can't have the same thing? We can, but black people just have to embrace it. And like I said, this could be a new phenomenon for the black community. That's why I think Let's Stay Together is a good show because it is a good light for black television, constructive black people in constructive and productive relationships. It's good. I like it. So, y'all need to support this show. And don't write it off so quick. And anyway, I'll catch y'all later.